What's up everybody, this is Zoya. And Riot has released yet another cinematic just recently, apparently just 14 hours ago. And I feel like Riot at this point can just become like a movie studio, honestly. But this one is actually for Wild Rift, or to promote Wild Rift, I guess. And it's called Thresh Unbound, A Night at the Inn. Now, obviously, this has to do with the lovely Unbound Thresh skin, which I had a whole discussion on in one of my other videos when I reacted to the actual skin. And you guys can check that out if you would like, if you haven't seen it yet. But I noticed even on my Discord, like I haven't seen the cinematic yet, but people are already discussing it and how, for some reason, and I guess I'll find out, this cinematic is improving people's opinion of the skin. They feel like it justifies it. But for those of you who have seen my video where I reacted to the actual skin when it was released, you probably know that I wasn't exactly very pleased with it. I didn't like it. And I got a bunch of comments on that video. You can check it out for yourself. I mean, people are divided. Some of them are kind of like sharing my opinion, while others are saying that, you know, I should keep my opinion to myself, that no one's forcing me to buy the skin, blah, blah, blah. Well, all I can say is that I assume that no one is forcing anyone to buy anything. And if you have an opinion that's unfavorable, I think you should still be able to share it. And another thing being like, oh, don't diss on the skin because there are artists and real people behind it. There are artists and real people behind it. And what they're doing is they're creating a product for the consumer. But those artists are not acting on their own. They have superiors and they have marketing people who decide how things will actually look like and how they present them. So when I said that the skin was done lazily, I meant that it's not that the artist was too lazy to make an actual good art. Like, of course, if you look at the artwork, it looks good. But if you look at the concept for a character, right, for a champion, for Thresh, and what he originally looks like, and then you looked at that skin at that time, it did look kind of lazy because it did remind me of Spirit Blossom Thresh from last year. And also, when we say lazy, we don't just mean the artist, right? We mean the actual company that decided this is going to be the skin for Thresh that actually is canonical for this event. Now, unlike the people who say that I shouldn't be sharing my opinion, I actually welcome your opinion, guys. So if you differ, if you think differently from what I just said, then please do let me know in the comments. Kaisei's coming. She might do a little cameo. Come here. Hello, Baba. Ochi. Oh, she's here. Okay, you wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Dada. Kaisa. Hello. Say hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, why you look so sad? She's a very happy cat. She's a lot happier than she used to be when she was out on the street, I should say. She expresses that by being a completely naughty girl. You are a naughty girl, Kaisa. She always is trying to steal stuff off of like any surface, and you just find it in like the absolute most random places later. Whenever I'm not in this room, I just have to shut the door. But anyways, let's get back to Thresh. Before we dive into the cinematic, if you enjoy this type of content, please do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video also, maybe joining my Discord and following me on Twitch. And what else is there? Commenting down below your own opinions on this cinematic. And without further ado, let's get into Thresh Unbound, A Night at the Inn. Okay, here we are on YouTube, and I see it right here actually in my suggested Thresh Unbound 14 hours ago. All right, let's take a look. Oh my goodness.
Double quick, sir.
So he has a claw for one arm.
Here you are, sir. Sorry, sir. Cursed arm. Yep, picked a mage's pocket. He gave me the old zapparoo. Now it does what it wants. You have to watch who you trifle with in Roxas.
Do you now?
Oh! In Roxas.
Do you?
So this is Thresh assuming human form, right? The whole pretext of Thresh Unbound is that he's not just bound to Shadow Isles, right? That he's like running rampant, kind of. You can see the keys, right? You can see the hair here. But the one thing for sure is that his face, he looks a lot older. A lot older than the Unbound Thresh skin. But I guess this is a cinematic version, so let's see if he ever actually assumes his like normal form.
Pardon?
This guy's not having the time of his life.
Sorry, sir. Double quick, man. Pardon. Dodgy arm. Sorry, cursed hand. More biscuits. More milk. Double quick, double quick.
Well, Thresh
Would you like a...
has an idea for this guy, I guess.
No, thank you, Bort. I'm saving my appetite for your service. Go on.
Isn't it ironic how they made this whole Thresh thing to avoid showing skulls, and yet right in the cinematic that they're trying to promote it, they're actually putting skulls in?
Put it to pocket before someone else does.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bought? Well, I'd put it toward your debt if I didn't need to cover all the broken plates of stupidity.
What is going on? Is this turning into a horror movie? There's Thresh.
Bought, my friend. I was
Okay, let's get back here.
bought, my friend.
Uh-huh. So, looking at this face, hold on a second. Hold on. Actually, let's finish watching the cinematic.
I was a prisoner too. Longer than you could have.
You can see his shadow. It shows like his actual skull thing.
Shadow Isles. But no one escapes. I forgot how squishy they are. I'm free now to do as I wish.
Move, Bort! Oh no!
Here he is, friend Bort. The hand at your tether.
Wait! We're friends! Who else would take you in? A little living between friends. Just me and old Bort having a laugh. Right, Bort? Right?
Someone gives and someone gets. There are two sides to every
They're almost making Thresh look like this enforcer of justice or something.
transaction. Your curse is his.
His prophet, sir.
Would you like to be free, Bort? Never again to feel the sting of your accursed deformity?
You can do this.
My dear Bort, there is life, there is death.
I mean, in a way, he is just manipulating this Bort guy into, like, getting into his lantern, basically.
And there is me.
Okay, so Bort agreed, I guess.
Don't mind the whip. Just a little ribbing between friends.
Ah, okay. So all those people that bullied him, I guess, at the inn are now getting bullied by him. What a flip of events. League of Legends Wild Rift, guys. So, okay, there's a lot to say here. Before I do, though, I want to make a comparison. Let's go back to this still here, where we first see his face. Okay, so right here, right, remember this. Okay, here we have the cinematic Thresh, the skin Thresh. Okay, let's take another second. The cinematic Thresh, the skin Thresh. What differences do we notice? Cinematic, skin, cinematic, skin. You guys can play a little game, okay? Spot the difference, guys. It's not very difficult to do. I mean, look here. He looks a lot older here. Let's start with that. This looks young. Okay, let me zoom in. This looks young. This looks a lot younger. I'd say this looks like 20s, maybe like late teens. This looks like 40s, if not like even like early 50s. Like, just give him a beard. I could think of him as being 50 years old. Also, let's look at the abs going on here. Now, here, this is not abs, technically. This is almost like a decoration on his attire or whatever. But, I mean, of course, it bears the shape of, like, muscles and stuff. But it's clearly not. Whereas here, I don't know. I mean, he does have this little shirt here, I assume, but I don't think it's covering him very well. I think it's kind of transparent, or at least that's the impression that we're getting. Like, there's the six-pack, right, and the e-boy face, whereas this looks very different. If this was the skin that Thresh came out with whenever it happened, whenever the Sentinels of Light event was happening and the new Unbound Thresh skin was revealed, I feel like I would have received it a lot better than this, okay? There was absolutely no explanation as to why he has to look like this. And this cinematic doesn't really explain why the skin looks like this. I mean, it's probably gonna look like that in Wild Rift. I wonder even if the model in Wild Rift for Thresh is actually gonna look closer to this rather than this. And if this is just going to be the splash for it. But it almost makes me feel like the cinematic was made after, and maybe I'm looking too far into it, but the cinematic was like made after they looked or they saw the reaction that people had to the Unbound Thresh splash. And then they were like, guys, they had like a little executive meeting, like, we need to sell this. We need to make sure that people like it and people actually play this champion. What should we do? And then the cinematic people were like, we got you, bro. I actually wonder what people are saying in the comments. How are they receiving it? Things this fixed. Thresh didn't do all this just to be human again. He did this in order to leave the Shadow Isles and follow his Machiavellic plans. He's not a Noxus just for fun after all, and this is all a means to an end. He doesn't have muscular abs after all. That's what I was mentioning. If it's armor plating that looks like abs, probably for the aesthetic and to sell skins. Yes, these types of armor plating. He hasn't changed at all. He's still a humongous ass. Yeah, actually, like I said, it kind of made it look like he's executing justice here for Borg. In Borg's maybe opinion, it does, but he's clearly just manipulating this person. He just wants as many souls in his lantern as possible. So makes the Unbound Thresh skin a lot more interesting. Incredible animation. Okay, from what I'm seeing, the reception is a lot better for this cinematic than for when the skin came out. The fact he has the skull before he starts talking to Bort makes it look like the face is only a mask he puts on to make deals with people. Such an improvement. Okay. I still miss old Thresh, but this is such an improvement over the lol Unbound Thresh, which I agree with. A gothic horror-based gentleman that travels the land, collecting souls while hidden behind an illusion of humanity. Not the way the face pulls itself over the monster that walks through the door, how the shadow stays the same. That's what I noticed too. The human face is not Thresh's real form, it's a mask. Also, I love that Thresh looks less than an anime villain and more aged and sinister. Does this cinematic improve my opinion of this skin? It does not. It does not. I still think that this skin is not good. Do I like the cinematic? I do. Do I like how Thresh looks like here and how he's presented here? I do. Does that make me want to get this skin on a regular League? It does not in any way. I feel like this is a prime example of the different departments in Riot just pulling each other out of sticky spots. You can clearly tell from people's reception that they have changed their minds, apparently, on what's happening here, because it does kind of explain what's happening in like concept-wise, in terms of what's happening with the concept with this skin. It does not explain why this looks like an anime e-boy with the six-pack, whereas this doesn't. I don't think they will be redoing the splash or anything like that, but they might make the in-game model look a little more like this, but maybe not. I don't even know, like, the whole skull thing and everything, like they show the skull on the coin. Like if it's really just the characters that don't show skulls, then I don't know. It's just not very consistent in my opinion. But the storytelling is interesting here, and I feel like Riot's storytelling department really pulled a good one here in trying to remedy this disaster right here. But you know, these are just my 2 cents on the issue, on the matter, and of course, if you disagree with me, or if you have something else to add here, maybe another observation, or what did you think of what I said in this video? What did you think about people's reception? You know, you are free to share your thoughts. I will be more than happy to read them. So if you do have something to say, then by all means, let me know in the comment section below. Well, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. This was Zoya, the Russian Korean. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.